Because one of the things that has been, odd about the gold bull market that has been going on for a long time now is the fact that silver has not really participated. Because in most historic bull markets in gold, silver has not only participated, silver has led. When we've seen a big move up in gold, we've seen a bigger percentage move up in silver. Prior to getting the jobs number, we had a big breakout in silver. And I've been talking about this on this podcast. I've been telling people, buy silver, buy silver. I didn't think it was going to go below 30. I was saying $30 silver is like $2,000 gold. And, telling people to buy it, $32, $33, very little downside. I knew eventually it would break out. And on Thursday, it did in a big way. I think, we were up almost $2 at one point, or Friday rather. But silver not only broke out above 35, the same day it broke out above 35, it closed above 36. And as I'm watching prices live now on Sunday night, it's about 9:15 out on the East Coast. Silver's trading at 36.08, above 36 again. Gold initially was moving up with silver, and it got back above 3,400, but it actually sold off earlier in the morning, and then after the jobs numbers came out, it sold off more. And in fact, Thursday was the big move up in silver. It had a big move up Thursday, but then it moved up again because it didn't close. It added about 50 cents. Right, it had a big move up on Thursday, up about $1.50, and then it jumped another 50 cents. But silver stocks on Thursday, a lot of the silver stocks were up 9, 10, 11. I think the biggest one was a 15% gain in First Majestic. But other silver stocks were up, 9, 10%. Even the silver stocks mostly pulled back on Friday because I think the weakness in the gold market and the strength of the stock market caused selling in gold stocks, and even silver stocks pulled back. But the significance of the breakout, I think, is important. And I think one of the reasons that gold sold off, and it didn't get killed. I mean, gold's still about $3,300 an ounce. Right now it's 33.05. It's off about $5 in this early Asian trading. But I think one of the reasons for that was unwinding of spreads. And here, as I'm watching, silver's on the high of the night now. It's up a dime at 36.12. A lot of people have been trading spreads where they're long gold and short silver, right? Because that trade has been working. We were 100 to 1 in the gold silver ratio. And I actually think that it wasn't just long gold, short silver. People were long gold, short platinum. I was talking on the last podcast that I did that people should buy platinum. I was looking at platinum and it was still below $1,000 an ounce. The last time I talked about it, it was under $1,000 an ounce. And I said, this is ridiculous. You can buy more than 3 ounces of platinum with 1 ounce of gold. Well, last week, platinum broke out. It's almost at $1,200 an ounce right now. It's at $1,175 down, but it's up about 20% in a week. And not just platinum, palladium, which was also around 1,000, is now, now it's 1,067, not up as much, but still, this is a huge move up in the precious metals complex. So it's not just gold. The other precious metals are moving up too. And I think what's happening is these spreads where people are long gold but short silver are being unwound. People don't want to make that bet anymore because they see that the tide has turned and that silver is going to start to rally. And so they don't want to be short silver anymore. Now, maybe they don't want to be long gold either if they have to unwind that spread. They were simply trading the spread versus making a real directional bet because they might have thought, hey, gold prices could go down and silver prices will go down even more, right? So the spread traders may not have cared which direction gold and silver went. All they cared about was the difference between the two. But now, if it looks like silver is not going to underperform gold anymore, you're unwinding those trades. But I think that is very bullish for all of the precious metals, including gold, because one of the things that has been, odd about the gold bull market that has been going on for a long time now is the fact that silver has not really participated. Because in most historic bull markets in gold, silver has not only participated, silver has led. When we've seen a big move up in gold, we've seen a bigger percentage move up in silver. We haven't seen that yet. And I've gone over the reasons why, the predominant one being that this has been a central bank-led gold rally, and the central banks don't buy silver. They just can't store it. It's not the monetary metal that they hold. It's more private investors that buy silver. Retail, small investors, even the bigger hedge funds are more likely to be active in gold and silver. So the man on the street has not been involved in this market for whatever reason. Either they've been sidetracked by Bitcoin, or they're just speculating in other tech stocks, or they're just not even bothered. They don't even feel the need to buy silver. They don't know anything about it. They don't think about it. And so you haven't had the rally that you typically had in a precious metals bull market. Well, if that's going to change now, if the breakout that we had last week signals that, okay, silver is finally joining the party, I think that's good news for the entire sector, including gold. I think gold will do better in an environment where silver is outperforming. So people will make more money percentage-wise on silver, but they'll make more in gold because silver is rising than if silver wasn't rising. Silver was, the weakness in silver was kind of a drag on the gold market. So imagine how much stronger gold would be now, how much higher the price would be if silver was going up. Because if silver was going up, that would mean the public was involved in the market. And they would also be buying gold. They wouldn't just be buying silver, because it's been the central bankers that have been buying gold, not the retail investors. That, I believe, is going to be starting. And gold just needs to, I think, close above 3,500, not just 3,400, but that would be a new high. Gold got close to 3,500 last time around. But this breakout in silver, the breakout in platinum is a bull market in precious metals. And it's not just precious metals, industrial metals. Inflation is reacting. And it's also having to do with the breakdown in the dollar, because the dollar index is still below 99. The euro is still above $1.14. So I think we're going to see a lot more downward pressure on the dollar and upward pressure on commodity prices, especially given what is now going on in Congress and with Elon Musk and Trump, which really is the biggest story. And I kind of maybe saved it for last because I think it is the most significant event. But it's also one of those things where I can say I told you so, because I did tell you so. And in fact, I told a lot of people this, a lot of my clients, because I had a lot of clients, and I mentioned this on this podcast, but I had a lot of clients that after Trump won the election, they closed their accounts. And the reason they did that is they said, Peter, look, I get, I've had money with you because I've been worried about the debt problem. I've been worried about the dollar, but I'm not worried anymore, because now Donald Trump is finally going to fix it. We've got Elon Musk, we got Doge, and we're finally going to be serious. Trump is serious. We're going to actually cut spending. We're going to cut trillions out of the deficit. The dollar's going to strengthen. We're going to have all this deregulation. Everyone's going to want to invest in America. And so this is not the time for your strategy. I don't want to be invested outside the dollar. I don't want to be in gold stocks, which, was a disastrous decision because, gold stocks are up 50% this year. People that cashed out in November, December last year missed out on that. And of course, foreign stocks, while the U.S. market is down, you've got foreign, markets up 20%, 25%. So it was a horrible time to, bail out on my strategy. I mean, it was really the time to go all in on my strategy. But what I was telling people, and what I was telling people on my podcast was, look, I've seen this movie before, right? Many times, including with Trump, right? Not just Trump, but all the way going back to Ronald Reagan, when Ronald Reagan ran. And, he was going to clean out the waste, fraud, and abuse. They had the Grace Commission, right? A lot of fanfare with the Grace Commission. And they came up with all sorts of recommendations on how to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. but none of it was actually enacted by Congress. And I said that Doge was going to meet a similar fate, that at the end of the day, you were not going to get any significant spending cuts.